Xfinity, and ESEA.
Well, that went all the way, and indeed overtime did look like we was about to be on the cards. Fortunately, the Swede known as Forrest saves the day for the Ninjas, and they will take Nuke as we prepare ourselves for Overpass. Now, for now, though, we have to reflect. I'm your host, Machine. I'm joined by YNK and Mr. Spun. Jay?
And they really did try to make it as difficult for themselves as possible. I mean, they managed to get the grind in the second half on the T side, but they just lost some ridiculous rounds to only pistols. We had that against a full eco. G2, I think, only had 2 P250s. Those 2 P250s get the first 2 kills, and the round just falls apart for NiP.
There's a lot of tight angles on Nuke, right? I mean, this is where pistols can do something. We saw CZs pushing through smoke.
I think it was maybe indecision is what hurt NiP, because they would go take map territory and then they would double back on themselves and then they wouldn't be clearing choke points probably. You saw it when they went back to ramp. One round they had a rough time against the CZs. Of course, you know, closer angles it's harder to deal with, but you need to have a bit more conviction when you're going up against the pistols so you can just trade out efficiently. For me, you know, the storyline was both teams really used Secret well, you know, and that's what we harp on, getting yard control, getting Secret control. G2 in the first half, getting that time and time again, they're actually able to mix it up very well, and they were able to towards the end of the half pull out some quicker top hits because they knew the rotations were going to be forced. But one big question I have is why we haven't seen this is why we don't see teams going for an all-in yard control, right? You saw early on Get Right going across to Secret trying to beat the smokes of G2. He got punished both times, so then the adjustment was rotating res down, right? But my question is, you used to be able to, on the old Nuke, get a guy up on catwalk, you could have a guy push up close red, and then you'd have somebody like in the backlines near main entrance annex throwing nades so they could fight.
Sure.
And that's just an all-in. You win or lose the round right there as the CTs, but at least you're not forced to rotate, you're not forced into all these after plant situations. That's something NiP could have done earlier to deal with the way G2 were doing it, and then vice versa, you know, G2 could have done the same thing. They were getting dictated to a lot outside, Kenny was getting pushed around with the AWP, he didn't really have a lot of impact.
I mean, where does the discussion start with why that's not being utilized? If you want to kind of think about it in your head, is Silo quicker to access now? Is that an angle that's going to slow them down? I'm trying to think about why we're not seeing that CT aggression.
I mean, to an extent, but we still see some teams do it, most notably FaZe and
Astralis still a little bit with Glaive.
Astralis a little
right
bit.
Up against the bombs.
Yeah.
VP a little bit. I mean, you look towards the world's best teams on Nuke, and they're the ones doing it because they understand that that's another avenue that they can take and another advantage that they can take. So I think maybe teams are a little bit scared of the door and like someone just blowing up the door, smoking off, and then if you fully commit yard, that usually means you kind of leave upper open and have a player on ramp, so they're maybe scared that someone can, you know, sneak through or take control of the site, and then the rest of the team can just come up once he's secured that. But even a couple of months ago, not so right now, I definitely thought there was more room for the CTs to be aggressive towards yard.
We did see that really cool thing that NiP were doing. I don't know if anyone's done it before. They probably have, where they were just boosting the player up quickly onto the yard jump on the air conditioner. That's a nice little tweak there. Can save you a bit of time. Also stops the congestion going up ladder. Allows a player to go for a quicker pick. But I just think there's still a lot of room for people to come up with new ways to play Nuke still. It seems like it's a map that's always evolving. I think a few changes to it would make it more interesting. But here I think NiP, you know, they had what they needed. They won a lot of key rounds.
Yeah, you piqued my interest. A couple of changes. Perhaps we'll talk about that should we need it. The stats are where we're going to turn our attention now, though, as you can see the roster from either side. You have close to 100 ADR for Apex, and he kind of went under the radar. 29 frags for him. I think the player a lot of people were talking about, especially for the Ninjas, given the victory, was that of Forrest. A spectacular fragging performance from him. Got to see 27 of his, and he actually pulled them from the brink. You get to see some of his highlights here, starting as early as the pistol. And it does seem like we are starting to start the dialogue of a bit of a Forrest resurgence, a player, a legendary name in Counter-Strike, and we haven't stopped talking about him since the Resin Drakens of the team.
To be honest, I don't really think Forrest has fallen off, even when NiP was at their lowest, not qualifying for the major. So? And so, yeah, I mean, obviously he wasn't really dominant. You can't be when your team is really in a very, very bad shape. But I felt like he was the one bright spot in that team, that he was at least maintained some sort of a decent level of performance.
But it's like it's nice for you to see him like that secondary awkwardness falling. Like you don't have to see that anymore.
Yeah, definitely. Being able to just rifle, because he can be a beast with the rifles on the T side. You love it when they plant the bomb, lose the first round, or the pistol round on the T side, and then someone just drops him an AK and everyone else is echoing basically. But it's like, We know you're a beast. Take this AK, and we're gonna bait for you.
Yeah.
And they won a couple of rounds like that.
I mean, this is something I think, Chad, you've been talking about a lot. Like NiP do it, and yeah, I mean, is this something you expect to see more teams do? Is it a bit of something that this one AK rest eco kind of putting faith in a player like you've got a Nico on the team, for example?
I definitely think if you have the star to pull it off and you have confidence in him, that's a cool way to approach it. The thing I really like is how versatile Counter-Strike is at the moment, right? Because there's so many different approaches. It's not like the meta has to be played one way. We actually have teams who can bring in multiple different ways of doing things, and that's what I guess Valve wanted, right? They got what they wanted.
They got what they wanted.
They got what they wanted.
And I've got what you want, which is Overpass. I know you want to be talking about this one. Desperate, chomping at the bit, in fact, to dig into Overpass and how this one's going to be shaping up. Is there a team name that jumps off the page when you think Overpass and you think NiP G2?
I think when I watch G2 play this map, I think that they can do some really good stuff as a pack, as a team. You do a 4-1, and they can get some really good timings because an entry fragger like Apex is very relentless in the way he takes space. When he sees you, he just knows that you're probably going to drop back to that next line, and he pushes up very quickly. So for me, G2 on this map, if they're given room to work with and Draken isn't able to hit shots early to punish them and slow them down, it's something that I think they would have the advantage. But I said that about Nuke, so what do I know?
Well, I mean, you got to see a full 30 rounds on Nuke. It's not as if you were too far off. Yanko, anyone jumping off the page for you on Overpass?
I think one thing that sticks out to me on Overpass is G2 and their mid-round aggression on the CT side, right? Yeah. It's not just being aggressive at the beginning of the round, sending Kenny S somewhere with the AWP to try to get an advantage. It's when the Ts are, doing their default and gaining map control, you find that weak spot, flash someone in, or that's where you send Kenny to be aggressive, and you find that advantage, and you also get a lot of information. That's what G2, when they are like beating great teams on Overpass, that's usually what makes them do so, right? Not very many teams are able to execute that properly, and it's just in general one of the hardest things to execute because you need to get that good read. The communication needs to, be on point, and the side of the map where you're not making the play has to be just reliable enough for you to be aggressive on the other side.
And you did mention an if there. If Draken's hitting his shots, is he going to be a player to watch for NiP coming into Overpass, a map where we know CT especially, CT AWPers can take control? Yeah,
I definitely think so because you don't want to give up too much territory towards that party section or along on the map without them using utility. You want to force them to be doing that. Fallen, when he plays against G2, has some cool ways of doing it because, when they throw the Molotov towards toilet, so they smoke off and then they throw to the connector part of toilet, Fallen will always put that Molotov out and then go for a pick. If Draken can be quite aggressive in that style and slow them down, it means that Apex isn't able to just push in and take a lot of territory early.
Sure.
I think Draken is definitely a key for NiP, but on this map, it's going to be the style that they come in with, right? Are they going to be aggressive off the bat as a team? Are they going to take the fight to G2? Because their CT side, it wasn't great. It looked like they were chasing their tail a little bit. They had a couple of Hail Mary plays on Nuke from Rez getting multi-kills and that.
Sure.
And it took them a bit longer to adjust. So I would like to see them taking the initiative first against G2 to really take the fight to them.
Okay, so in taking initiative and mid-round aggression on that defensive side.
And playing better against pistols.
And that would always be
nice.
That
does help.
That's always a bonus in terms of success. Now, I'm just keeping an eye on the server. It does seem like we're still waiting on a couple of players, which means we can...
I have some fun points.
Oh, what have you got?
I don't know if we can bring this up if it's still connected, but I just quickly whipped up who NiP are going to be playing for the rest of the season.
Okay.
Now, with this is a big victory for them over G2. So next is FaZe. That's going to be a hard matchup for them. I believe that's tomorrow night. I think I was saying that
They
earlier.
just got whooped by FaZe.
Yeah, so that's not a good sign. Then they take on Fnatic. So they're going to be versing another team who's looking pretty hot at the moment, especially online. And I think there's a debate right now for which is the best Swedish team. I would have said NiP just after Malmo because we didn't know really what to expect from Fnatic at that point, especially now that Golden's quite new. But Fnatic online are looking fantastic. After that, it gets a bit easier for them. They've got LDLC, Mouse Sports, Big, Godsent, Heroic, and Envious. So NiP are in with a real shot. If they can 1-1 against FaZe, if they can 1-1 against Fnatic, they're putting themselves in a pretty good position. Yeah, because they can get a couple of 2-0s. Mouse are really struggling. They lost both maps tonight to Fnatic. Godsent are very up and down. I think Godsent won a map versus just narrowly lost to North tonight, I believe. And they
took a map off of Astralis.
That's true, they did too. So if NiP can get the 1-1s against the harder opponents, they're in a pretty good position, I think.
So I mean, they've got to weather the storm of the next, your FaZe and Fanatics, and then find themselves with what should be. And bear in mind, we've seen crazier things in online Counter-Strike, a relatively easy path to the top 6 and 2 of those offline finals. They're going down in Odense. I've been practicing it. Odense.
I think that was worse today.
I'm making it sound like kind of like Chinese almost.
That
I don't
was
know how I
worse
managed
today.
that.
That was much worse.
Okay, I'm just going to call it a denser. And someone that is not quite as dense as me is, of course, Sadakist and Henry G.
That someone implies one person, and he named two
Yeah,
of
I was
us.
trying to work that out.
He is pretty dense, I have to agree. Overpass, and I'm still the samurai. You won last time. And just get the first map in an interesting fashion.
You fell on your sword.
Ooh, I like what you did there.
Yeah.
Have you seen, is it Memento?
No.
The movie? Oh, good movie. You should watch it. There's
samurais in it?
quite an epic falling on sword sequence in that movie.
Okay, lovely.
It's quite literal. You
there
should
we go.
check it out, honestly. It's a good movie.
Maybe it will tonight.
Maybe you
I'll
should
see
tonight.
if Alex lets me have
We
control
can
of the TV
Netflix
tonight.
and chill.
Oh, you want to come in as well?
Can I be middle spoon?
Yeah.
Considering you've already got company.
Look, he's bigger than me. He gets to decide what we watch. Anyway.
Fair enough.
It will be round number 1, ladies and gentlemen, the final map of the evening, G2 versus NiP. It's our hot match of the week. The first map certainly proved to be so. That was very exciting. NiP, lucky to get away with that one, I have to say. Forrest, what a game he was having there. He was certainly on fire. But we'll see what he can do here. 4 sets of armor for NiP exist with the flashbang. The PG-50s once again, they're loving this approach, and it's working very well indeed. Another headshot there, Draken opens things up. Apex and Body, though, they're pushing towards Long and finding frags left, front and center, but it might not be enough here, but Body, he certainly seems to think so.
Apex aggressive follows up on the initial exchange to get Draken down. Everything was great for Get Right. He had the B site. No one around. Calm, breezy, sunshiny day. No bomb. Has to go back for it. It's like a children's book. It was so serenely written, except it didn't have the illustrations, so no one liked it. The illustrations being the bomb. Henry,
Yes,
as I try and illustrate the picture for you.
It's working. So the new Glock is a little bit like
New Glock.
a railgun these days. It can be very powerful at certain ranges. Doesn't look like Get Right will be aiming that beast just yet, and he opts to back out. He wants to do a loop-de-loop. Have to operate quickly. They're all looking that same position right now, but I don't think he does much with this. Maybe one more kill.
Maybe one more kill.
That's about as good as it will.
Oh, what a thrill. I think he's going to get all three. I think he's going to get all three. Starts off RPK, or MBK, excuse me. I've gotten them confused in each direction tonight. Don't repeat. Tries to bait out NBK by looking for shots on others. Oh, that is so close to getting the headshot. MBK, do not move. He's buying time. That's the bigger factor. Now I don't think he's going to win it because there's only 16 seconds. Does finally get the kill he was looking for. But the other droids have run away. That's fair enough. Body
5
down.
seconds.
Apex just run. Don't even peek.
Yeah, it was a good attempt. A couple of kills coming through. He doesn't get any money to the next round, but he has got armor. So I guess they'll be force buying either way. So you can still buy a Deagle. So it's not the end of the world. You can get Deagle body armor.
It's fair enough.
I'm sure
You're right.
he will get. They are forcing into it. Come on, Get Right. Get that Deagle. Don't let me down.
Don't let me down, Irene. That's Don't Walk Away, Irene.
Yeah. There's a Beatles song called Don't Let Me Down. You get it down.
Don't let
There
me
you go.
down.
Easier. Much
Yes.
easier today.
It's all right. We'll get there. I am just a jukebox.
I'll Get Right then. Buy anything. We get to smoke and a flashbang. And he'll stay on the USP. I guess that's absolutely fine. It's 1-0 there for G2. If you're just joining us, the hot match of the week. It's going to be an absolute barn burner here on Overpass. Maybe not as exciting as Nuke. That was great. But for now, 2 Famases, 3 MP9s. And, of course, the force buy from NiP. A couple of Deagles, 3 of those actually, and Apex going to town. It has been pretty exciting to watch, but these MP9s seem to be making more and more of an appearance here. It's further really caught my attention with this weapon originally, but it seems like everyone has a go at it these days. And it will be 5-on-2 now as Apex finds yet another kill. Takes down Get Right. The unarmored ahead of him after not getting any money into this round. It'll be Draken and Rez to try and get something done. They definitely can't win the round, but maybe find a couple of consolation frags. Who knows?
Consolation is everything. Draken walks up the stairway to the site. Body's got the shot back on the FAMAS. Get Rez, at least a kill on the Deagle, but it's 4 alive for G2. 2 rounds to their name, 1 for NiP, and 0 for Henry and I because we're not even playing the game.
I completed the game years ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
You know you just lost, right? Do you remember that game?
Yeah. Never really got that, but I always used to say to people, yeah, cool, man, I get that.
I know. I never thought it was a big deal either, but my sister, when she was really young, used to like get freaked out, like really mad, and I'd just say you lost, and she'd like get mad at me. How dare you ruin it? Like, okay, because that matters.
Running up middle with the MP9, it will be Shoxy. Spots the unarmored. Put it out there eventually. Players of NiP, but it could be falling apart. We've seen a few of this tonight. Just running up there, trying to get the frags on the board. Sometimes it can fall apart. It's unnecessary, but I guess trying to farm some cash and a couple of kills coming in now. Nothing really invested into this round. And they have got 2 kills, and maybe there's room for a little bit more. It's Rez and Forest now, who do recover a Famas as well, but Apex coming behind them. Probably finds Rez here, trying to tap away at the MP9. That's not easy.
Easier said than done.
Yes.
For a cliche. How about that? As Apex does get around behind his intended target to make it 3-0 for G2. We get into the gun round now, though. NiP, they'll go immediately on to AK-47s. $4,400, come on, exist. Get with it.
Bit of a bonus situation here for the G2 boys.
You gotta love a good bonus.
I've got a bit of a bonus right now. Apex with the
I'm not gonna hide the
MP9.
laughter on that one.
A couple of Famases and Kenny S with the AWP, of course, up against a pretty weak NiP buy. No orb coming up for them, but Draken's still quite well versed in the AK-47. It's going to be Shoxy trying to do what he can to get for the rock there. It's Kenny S, though, somehow recovers there. Doesn't fall back from the flatbed once he gets flashed. And it's going to be the 4-on-4. Draken on very low HP. I do love this boost. It's so fun to watch sometimes get the opening pick, but it is high risk. One flashbang from short can shut it down. Draken and Exist will be patrolling towards long. Kenny S alone on the A-bomb site for now. With that boost still towards the connector. Watch Get Right. He could be going down any second. Oh, he negates it for now. He could actually walk out and take them both down.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that would have been so good. He only got one, but you're right. As soon as he went under the window, I was just waiting for him to walk out the door, turn, and get both.
That was quite cool.
You're quite cool.
I know.
All right. You just ruined it by being cocky about it. You conceited person.
Kenny S can still win this for sure.
Oh, what? That's not normal for Kenny.
No, he hits all the flamboyant flicks, but the ones that are on a plate, he can't dissect them quick enough. That was a bit of a miss there. Well, there we go. That's the kill that really separates the round. He gets that one. It's a 2-on-2, and they probably win it. But Apex now has to save, and it's the first round on the board for NiP. It's going to be Apex on 6-1. And Kenny S has been pretty quiet tonight. He bottom fragged on the first map. I think he got 14 kills in total on Nuke, which is normally like a really strong map for him. And they lost 16-14. He had a bit more form. Could have been a different story. And you see Get Right at the top there. And Apex will be saving the AK-47, hoping they come out towards long and try and save their weaponry, but they head towards B. Very wise and informed decision. 3 will stay alive, and it's a good first round there for NiP. Remember, this was a bonus round, essentially, for the G2 lads. They had Famases, the AWP, and I think an MP9 as well, if memory serves correct. So they save an AK-47. Here's the replay. What do we got here? It's the shot of Kenny missing and then getting shot in the back by Get Right. To be fair, he would have been dropped regardless. Even if he hits that shot, they probably still win the round. So, won't take too much away from that. Double AWP setup now. MBK on the secondary AWP. We did see this and events recently. It used to be Shoxy, of course, which is the secondary AWPer. But MBK, I forgot they did this. This was a key change for their lineup. It was Shoxy and Kenny for so long when his team was first formed, and then it started to drop off and a bit stagnant. Now it's MBK keeping it a while. Shoxy will be just on the rifle duties for now. 3-1. NiP looking to chain 2 rounds together here. Double AWP setup though, very strong on Overpass. Its body behind the rock right now. Backed up by Kenny S with the AWP. It's actually quite a heavy stack here from the CT towards long.
Kenny's waiting and waiting correctly, but not quick enough to get Rez. Not possible with the AWP. It opens up a lot of possibility, though, because Body turns to find Rez, and Get Right gets 2 players with their back exposed. As Apex goes back out to the front of the site, he realizes they're already in from long, swings around and finds a kill and return immediately onto Rez. Good find as well, too, on to Get Right. But in the end, it's not enough for NiP with Get Right's kills as NBK gets inside of the site. We go 4-1 for G2.
I like that stack. It's definitely a gamble in terms of the CT setup there, but if you've got a read into how NiP operate in their usual gun rounds there, 3 towards long with Kenny backing them up as well. It's going to take a very strong execution towards that part of the map to even take them down. There were some trades and some decent frags from Get Right as well, but MBK finds the final shot with the double up setup, and they won't have that this round. That's down to Kenny S, but that's fine considering they're up against the scouts of Draken, Galils, pistols, and 1 AK. That's in the hands of Exists, who hardly has been the biggest fragger for NiP this evening. I'd want that in the hands of Forest, if I'm honest, but 4-1 now for G2. Looking a lot more comfortable here. Overpass, but maybe not for long. Rez takes down 1. Kenny S with the reply.
Good find from Kenny. Goes back out. Just narrowly misses the margin to the right side. But it puts him back in the side at 11 HP. His body gets more aggressive. And NiP will start to possess the courage and confidence to go inside of the site by way of execution. Rez is behind the box. That's a headshot easily found by Body as he looked to the corner correctly. Meanwhile, NiP transfers from the front of the bathrooms around to the long side of the map as Get Right and Forest will work together. The old guard, if you will.
I will.
Thank you. Glad you will. That was
Definitely.
easy. Wish it was that easy to convince everyone.
No nades and a contact play. There was not even a flash here. Oh, an incendiary gets picked up, so maybe we've got something to work with here. They'll have to throw that in and hope for the best. Here it comes towards Bank, and now they'll operate together. It has to be a shot there from Get Right. A headshot was required. That Body so good at anchoring bomb sites. Gets 1. That's all he'll get, but Kenny S lines them up and potentially knocks both of them down here. The nade might do enough. Not quite. Forrest on 3 HP, just desperately trying to get a plant down here. Probably gets it, maybe not. Maybe get taken down. I think that was worth just going for, but probably would have not got planted either way. 5-1. And it looks like this could be a very G2-sided affair. NiP so far only winning 1 gun round, got completely reset after that. And G2 seem to have a very good read as to what NiP are presenting on their gun rounds. Good dynamic setups there. Kenny is hitting some shots now as well. And we're going to round number 7. Full eco once more, but to be fair, it was NiP that were giving up the majority of the full eco rounds to G2. I think there was 2 of those, and then they lost to about 3-4 spies on Nuke as well. Just about got through by the skin of their teeth, thanks to Forest in that last round. Hungry for frags. There's Apex.
Sharks. Gets away. No deagle headshot to be feared or revered. Ooh, Rez will get 1. That's certainly one to talk about as he takes down Body, but Shocks goes back out to find him in return. Apex is one of my favorite names in Counter-Strike.
Why is that?
Because racing.
I knew
hit
it
the
Apex. I
apex.
was like, why even ask?
Yeah, why are you asking? Good shot
Getting
from
late.
Shocks to hit Draken.
No, 2 bullets, surely not Shocks. Not 1.
Like, I wonder if you even fired that one to be like, challenge
Yeah.
accepted.
That was a nice try. It would have been quite sick to see him do it. If there was a man that could, he would probably be up there. It will be Forest in a 3 versus 1. Definitely can't win the round. Time ticking away. And doesn't have the bomb. No nades, no armor. Just a deagle. Hoping he can bait the GT boys into making a mistake here. That would be the case, though. Very good with the deagle. Very well versed in pretty much all the pistols. As he gets towards bathrooms, he knows he can't do much of this. He's accepted that right now, but does spot an AK. That helps things out.
Good shot, MBK, though. And it's G2 that are continuing to romp away with the scoreline of a 6-1. Making things more and more difficult for NiP as well, but they get back onto rifles this time at least.
No war for Draken as of yet. Haven't really seen him attempt to really challenge Kenny S. 5 AKs once more. Incendiaries towards short. Not deny any sort of rush from NiP. Very detailed round though from the Ninjas. They have found themselves walking into traps set by G2 in terms of stacks. It's going to be Body this time. Flashing in towards Monster. You saw Forest ready and waiting there. Tags up a little bit. Taking on a 74. 20 remaining. Nothing really gathered in terms of map tries of yet. But still very early days, so that's fine. They flash towards long. This time no presence whatsoever in the CT. So this is what G2 are trying to do. Get them scared of particular areas and leave them open. This time though, NiP aware.
I was scared of everything.
You're scared of everything.
Everything. I'm scared of life. not just particular areas. Well, that said, Exist will start to look out toward long. The smokes go down, and a potential for execution begins. Apex doesn't quite win the duel against Get Right, who finds entry point toward Monster, puts MEK back behind the pillar. He's got to time it perfectly, does so far. Isolated back to a one-on-one, having realized he peeked too far wide to the right and saw two, but still couldn't find the kill, and then got taken down from Force to enters from Monster, but he continues on alone with 12 HP against both Shox and Kenny. Talk about that for a duo, as Kenny gets him with a pistol through the wall just to add insult to injury.
Yeah, it's looking like it was an NiP round there, getting towards the B bomb side, trading frags effectively, but time was ticking away. By the time they made their final decision, they had ascertained that long was clear, they had some map control, they found a pick, couldn't really close the deal, and it will be, like you said, Kenny S and Shoxy up against Forest. So Forest just desperately trying to reach the bomb there. Couldn't do much about it. I like this wall bang. We've never seen it work out on one of our streams.
No, we saw it yesterday on the North American. Was that on the North American broadcast? It was on the Reddit.
Yeah, I've seen it on Reddit a few times. Yeah, I don't know when it's happened in official games, but it's quite cool. It's similar to the body shot, I guess. Pretty much. Not as consistent, not as much of a nightmare.
Yeah, the body one was like, literally you just had to time it,
yeah,
click a button, and everyone would die.
Everyone. Desperate. Ooh! Pistols run through the smoke, and down we go. A1. Didn't really have much to work with the NiP, fair enough. Get through and hope you can get a little trade frag there. Didn't work out though, and we do have Draken AWP this time. I'm just looking at the scoreboard while we're here, ladies and gents. 1 for 8 exists, not having the best of games, but not as a team. Get right, 7 kills. Draken, we will need to see him step out now, 3 for 9. It's a very AWP-centric map, and he hasn't really shown much with that weapon whatsoever. 10 kills for Apex at the very top, not far behind is Kenny S. Nice to see him fragging after his performance on Nuke.
Nice to see him performing indeed. As Rez sits to wait with an AK-47. The nades go through and land at his feet. He'll continue on. No jump over from Sandbags just yet. In fact, he'll send Drake in with an AWP to enter. No smokes, no flames in front, but has to be cautious of the fact that if he goes too far, he'll be found from the barrels. He goes far enough in to find Apex instead. A great entry on an AWP, excuse me, and a second.
That's all we wanted.
MEK.
Get the AWP out. Start finding those picks, openings. That's what we're looking for right now, and he finds 2 of them, very good ones as well. MPK and Apex going down. Draken's not done just yet though, goes towards Monster. Wants to keep focusing on this B site, and surely he gets this one as well. Body on the other side of the pillar. Timings might elude him slightly here, but it's still looking very good for Draken. Nice to see him finding the form with the AWP, and that should be round.
Bomb going to be planted, and they're already saving on the G2 side. Finally, NiP get a second round, and they'll do it very convincingly by keeping 5 players up. So forget a reset. So build up a bank of at least 1 round to work with. It's exactly what they wanted. On the NiP side.
Oh, hello. Silent kill there.
Yes.
Silent but deadly.
Silent but deadly, my favorite type.
Yep.
So Rez goes down. Any gun that they get away on the G2 side is actually massive. So ip. It's in pajamas without being a ninja. You're just an ip. Are going to have to be careful because if they lose... Oh, what?
Burn him.
Forrest thought about it, gets the gun and gets the kill. Can't quite find the last, but he had to be careful not to go down because if he had, it's exactly what they did not want.
Well, nothing really down to tactical prowess there, but it's Draken who runs up towards short. Finally got the AWP in his hand. Finds 2. Wins the round single-handedly. That was quite lovely to watch. Nice to see him recovering here. Still early days here. Sure, it looks like a really scary scoreline, 8-2, but you can still recover this. You can bring this back to 8-7 like we did on Nuke, and no reason why they can't do that. We'll go into a 3-man setup towards B this time. Nothing towards long once again for G2. It's Kenny S towards the bathrooms. Smoked out, of course, but still looking for any shots he can find. Anyone jumping up there trying to boost or get some information. That's why very common spot. They go back towards long. And unfortunately, Existus dinks his teammate, Rez, down to 64 HP. I watched that on my screen. That's a little bit weird.
Thanks for that, Exist. Yeah, dick.
He was like pre-firing the rock and accidentally blew his teammate in the back of the head.
Yeah, not the best plan. They'll go all the way back through T-spawn. Look elsewhere on the map. Try and get a lineup toward Monster inside of the Monster tunnel. Patience awaits for Apex. As he has a smoke down, NBK will get ready to be on top of the pillars, and rather on top of the plywood, and look toward the Monster entry. Apex thought about going. The flash went over. He was going to get aggressive, and something told him otherwise, and rightfully so. That could have been very costly.
Well then, looks like we'll finish up towards B here. Haven't really seen many full-on executions here, and we'll see if NiP can bring one to the table. They're certainly capable. Were some of the best in the game since Frat moved in as coach. They've got smokes available, Molotovs as well, a few flashbangs to work with, and I'm sure that's all be coming momentarily. We've got 20 seconds remaining here. They need to operate quite quickly now. Flashbang will come through. First pick once again by Draken. Give him the AWP, and he'll find results.
But MBK is still behind the pillar. He somehow found a shot to get right. That'll drop the bomb and buy space for G2 as Rez Molotovs off in the main entrance. Back down into the site, slows Shocks and retake, allows the plant. They'll go together. Boost potential is in effect with them both in the same place, but a splash instead. They want position. They want the M4 to get in the site. Dodge of a flash for Shocks, and Kenny hits Forrest as Shocks finds the headshot. That's pretty swift.
That's not bad at all. Just when it seemed like NiP got the entrance they needed, the bomb was down just about. Unfortunately, though, it's going to be Kenny S and Shoxy once again, the iconic duo, as you pointed out, managing to win the round and besting NiP once again. But it has to be the man of the hour, MBK here with the AWP, not known to be an AWPer, maybe right back in Source. He had a spell, if I remember correctly, about 10 years ago. That he was main AWPer, I think. But not really had to go in CS Global Offensive, so that's quite cool to see. Number 12, and we will have a pretty dire situation for NiP if they lose this round. You can see money starting to dwindle right now. They're fully invested into where they got $1,400 per player this round, but the bomb got planted, so they could bring out the AWP, 3 AKs, and get right just to that CZ. So lose this one is 10-2, and maybe double eco territory, so you need to be very careful here. If the bomb doesn't go down, it could be quite troublesome for the Ninjas.
Could be, as Apex will get back to the sandbags. Forrest continues to work his way in. MBK is the one that's waiting behind the pillar now. Excuse me, and Toxic. He shall be removed. Never play with a toxic player. Simple will tell you all about it. As Apex gets down by, or rather, excuse me, the way around. Forrest gets down by Apex, but Get Right gets the revenge. Well, Kenny, quick as always, finds Rez trying to run back around toward the B site, and Kenny keeps himself alive despite the late lurk, and therefore can get rotation in effect with the AWP. Speaking of, it's going to be Draken with his inside of the site to watch the window. He thinks that they've not yet made it to the window room, so watches the backside of it. Has to be a little bit careful because they're well inside. He misses the shot. Get Right instead wins it, and we find a third round for NiP.
Just what they needed as well. We started to see the money dwindle there, as I said, and now actually G2, they could find themselves in a bit of a sticky situation, if you will, because the rounds they have been winning, sure, they've been putting numbers on the board, but every single time in the last 4 or 5 have gone down to pretty remarkable clutches, 2-on-2s, 2-on-1s, and they're not keeping the manpower up to have the real big bank accounts here. So the AWP comes out for Kenny, but shotguns, SMGs, upgraded pistols will be joining him. And this is a chance for NiP to really pull this one back and get 9-6 if they can win this round. Comes down to this one, but they're up against Kenny S on Overpass. Likes to be aggressive, and we'll see whether he can open things up with that AWP. Replay here. Get Right. Nice work there with the M4A4. Always been known to have great spray control. So I think we should follow Kenny at the very start of this one. Let's see what he decides to do. I built it up on Nuke before. This is even better. He'll have to try and work hard for the first pick. He knows his team can't sit back with this sort of weaponry. We'll find out where he goes. I think he's got a decent spawn as well. He has. So let's have a look. Can he get it going? There it is. Perfect. That's what we needed.
Exactly. Kenny. Fast, and Chalks has the confidence, therefore, to stay at the statue, the fountain, I guess is the better word for it. Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. He almost went around toward playground, which may have worked because bomb dropped temporarily. Rez was inside of it. But a good shot, Apex, with a shotgun to get right after Rez took down his teammate in Shocks. Rez will get a little bit closer to the bathrooms. This forces G2 into hiding.
Oh dear.
They've got the best of weapons, but they've got the great start that you mentioned they needed from Kenny.
Absolutely. He had to do that. He has no choice. The only way they win this round, Kenny S finds an opening pick towards mid. Or something like that. Oh, Forest, please, no, not through the smoke. Not with the bomb on your back. You're better than this. That's a really disappointing play. It was supposed to be a bit of a surprise to CT on the other side, but actually just gives the bomb away, and that's a massive blunder. Still recoverable considering the weaponry of the CTs here, but he's made things very difficult for his teammates. But Draken, he's up to the challenge, but Kenny S. always going to be a nuisance here, and this could be the round going in favour of G2. Up to Rez now. Young boy of NiP can't get much done there. Kenny has to find the final frag, his third of the round. Oh, Forest, that's so disappointing the way he managed to pretty much throw that round away. What are we following here, Matt? There's a smoke. Presumably it just bounces off the bridge, right?
Yeah, back into the entryway. Are you not amused?
Well, it's like, I'm not sure it deserves the replay, but still, I like it. Round 14.
Well. Whoa. Kenny trying to get a shot to long, will have to fall away, and NiP are crumbling slowly in this half. It's a re-established economy from G2 on the back of Kenny's fast peaks in the last round. And look how aggressive they are. 3 players at the stairwell looking to go and find Get Right, who's inside of the bathrooms. Rez will be behind him, but it's not really much of a backup. Draken, the only one on an AK. Kenny nearly goes down. Oh man, I'm surprised it wasn't followed up. Yeah, how's Get Right not gone for more? I think he was expecting Shocks to be faster behind them, and he certainly is. He may save Kenny. Better still finds a second kill, but Shocks does go down in the end. Gives up a gun to the front of the site as well. The gun should be protected by Apex, and is successfully thus far. Until Draken arrives, but traded immediately. We're down to just Exist. Makes it in from long. Low HP as well onto Kenny. If he can find the deagle shot, if he can get toward a rifle, there's a chance in this.
Yes, the bomb as well. He has got time on his side, just about 30 seconds here. MBK coming from connector though. He'll spot the bomb momentarily, I would assume. But this does get an M4. With the armor as well and a flashbang, he has to go towards A now. He doesn't really have time to rotate. Kenny has low HP. Kenny has probably just have to let him plant and wait for his teammate to back him up. So they've gone for a very conservative approach here, the CTs. And Exist knows he has to try and find his frag. With time ticking away, he might have played himself slightly. Goes to the safer plan behind Optimus, and MBK will be coming in from bathrooms. He pretty much wins the round right there and then. So yeah, Exist. A little bit frustrating for him. He's hoping to take the kill down in CT spawn, make it a possibility, but like I said, a conservative approach from MBK. And he can get nice close to the bomb site, while Exist just ran the clock down. And it will be round number 14 going in favour of G2. And he brings the scoreline to 11-3, I believe. So there it is. Yep, round number 15 coming in. And not a ton of money, but the bomb does go down. That's something now for NiP. They only had second stage loss bonus, so the bomb going down, extra $800 per player. UMP's Deagles. I think that's one of the rounds they won, was one of these force buys with a couple of AKs, so hopefully they can get us on the board and we can maybe see a few more twists and turns here in the first, well, I should say second map.
Yeah, second map. We're already there. This is the 4th of the night. We're almost done the evening as Apex is done with Rez. He gets aggressive toward water and finds the kill on the M4. Behind the bags, additional smokes. Draken gonna wrap around. Can't quite get the shot toward the pillar as Forrest will get the one back into NBK. It's body. It's your body. He gets Forrest in the end. Apex to follow up. It's G2. And find themselves 12-3 with 4 to go to end the game, win the pistol. And, well, I think you know how it works. You're a regular viewer. Yes, you. Just you. Forget everyone else. It's all about you.
Yeah, we don't have to tell you how this works. You probably listened to me explain this situation probably, what, 500 times?
700, actually.
700 times. You know the deal by now.
Well, that said, we'll take a short break. Or are we? Did they say we are? We normally do. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back. Well, 12-3 is infamous in Pro League for being the comeback scoreline. I'm going to say it. However, NiP need to win a pistol to make that happen.
They haven't looked too good on Overpass. It's never really been an NiP map. Like, they've always been okay with it. Sometimes their CT sides could be quite good towards the end of Freiburg's tenure in the team. But we'll have a look what they can do here on the CT side. It will be 4 sets of armor for them, and a defuse gift for Get Right with a couple of flashbangs in terms of the buy for G2. 4 sets of armor, and Shoxy with the smoke and a couple of flashbangs. Most teams do favour towards B, but doesn't look like we'll be going there this time. Where did this smoke go then? Over we go. So quite a technical one. I have to run throw this stuff. There we go. Oh, goodness. Oh, no, you do hate to see that.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, no.
Get wrecked, son.
Not off the train.
It comes every, what, 17 seconds, I think it is,
Yeah,
in the round?
like I was saying, it does look a bit technical. Are you sure you can handle this one, Shox?
Yeah, well, get wrecked. Sorry about that, mate.
Here we go, and it all falls apart. NiP with the first 2 frags, and this is going to be an overtime game. NiP are back.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are they really?
This is it.
I didn't know they went anywhere. But it's body in the middle of everything. NiP started off, it's the 4th round, and we said this is the scoreline that oftentimes replicates failure. I don't know if replicates is the right word, but you know what I mean. The comebacks are common.
Yeah, I would say that's fine. Yeah, you really do.
That's
so
amazing.
rare. I haven't seen that in so long.
It's been a while.
I was just feeling like, where's this even going? But it was just the train. So that train is like, it's a random event, right? I think it comes in like twice around. And I guess that's just really unlucky. Like, we had that removed. Do you remember we used to have the B smokes and they used to get caught in the train all the time? They stopped them clipping.
It was also because the round timer was shorter. The
Yeah.
train came more, seemingly more frequently, but it was earlier in the round. When the round timer was extended, you could actually get away with it. Or no, sorry, it was the same time in the round, but it left you more time to execute after the train is what it was.
Yeah.
Apex takes down Draken. Rez inside of the site has to respond. Does spray to get damage in, but no kills. Finally does get one. Steps out, finds another. Third potentially there, but runs out of ammo. Alright, got one in the meantime. In fact, got body. His body's nade helped assist to Apex.
does
Getting
CZ
another
like
kill.
this?
Why are you like this?
Just like, it's so nuts to watch it. Like, dueling rifles, like, no problem. Like, quite happily at mid-range, like, it can duel an M4. It kind of just breaks my heart. But it's fine. You know what? I'm over it.
Glad to hear you that you are.
They're force buying again. Alright. How to throw a game by G2 Esports. You consistently force buy until there's nothing left. Then you desperately pause, double eco, then close it out 16-14.
Draken backs away, 13 HP as NBK goes up the stairwell to try and catch him and punish him with the pistol. Wrong player, right effect. They combine. In fact, body helps him take down Rez. That's the low HP they were looking for in Draken. And they've got themselves down to a reasonable situation, and the gun picked up to work with Unshox, who has armor. So too does Kenny if he could get a secondary rifle. He's trying desperately to get to the AK, but can't tap to get right. In the meantime, in the process of doing so. So it leaves us with just Shox.
Yeah, I really didn't like this approach from GT. Sure, they got a few kills there, but the bomb going down, I would agree. If they got the bomb planted there and it came down to that sort of round, you get the rifles out, you get maybe a kill or two, then it makes sense. But right now, I don't think I agree with it. Sure, the CZ are powerful, but didn't really have much to work with in terms of the utility, and it was quite an easy hold by NiP. They lose a couple of frags here, but Shoxy shouldn't get this bomb down at all. It's going to be Forest with the M4 headshot, and now we do have a game on our hands. This will likely get quite deep here. It's going to be the fully gun now for G2. What should have been the first gun round right now will have to be a little partial bias from PT50s, maybe more CZs. Why not?
Why not? CZ's amazing.
Did you see the Julies had their price reduced today?
Oh, what? I did see a note, so I didn't have time to read them because
so
I was super
Julies are
jet-lagged
now
still.
$400, and the revolver's now 600.
Wow.
So they're trying to make all the pistols a thing, but I don't think the revolver
Forget
will ever
the
be,
revolver.
because that's why you have to replace the deagle. And why would you do that?
I would, because I like to be fancy. But you're right. Viability, not exactly there when you have to remove one of the favorite weapons of all time.
I tweeted today, like, if they're ever going to make that a thing, they just need to remove weapon slots.
Yeah, no, I agree. Just let you pick everything. I wouldn't mind seeing teams be able to more effectively be able to pick between M4s even, for that matter, in certain situations. Teams used to pause, leave the game, and come back in by switching the M4, by the way.
Surely not anymore.
I haven't seen that in a long time, but I used to see it all the time in NA Pro League. Or NA Invite, I guess I think it was even back then.
Yeah, like the M4 thing, like, I think it's, you should just, I don't see what difference it makes which one you can buy. Like, if you know what map you're playing, you can just change it beforehand anyway, right? So, like, you know what you're more comfortable with. It doesn't really make a difference. It's just, like, more comfort than anything. And, like, you get some sick advantage by being able to buy both. Here we go. 12-7. One of the first gun rounds, a little bit late. It's round number 5. With the AWP Kenny S here, 4 AKs, of course. They still have a firm lead here, but they made this certainly closer than it had to be. And I'd be loving this prospect, though, the force buy to the CZs and a bit of short control. 3 players on this side of the map. A hole blown in the door as well. Forrest wants to try and capitalize there, but a smoke blocking his vision for now. It's MBK waiting for that to subside, and there it is. Draken with the first shot. Takes down Kenny S as well. Really is rising to the occasion since he picked up the AWP.
Go figure how that works. So, well, Kenny goes down. Exist and Forrest finding kills, each at the NiP side to hold off the underpass. Rotations shall not be swift, but Shock still waits for the exit from Forrest, and it pulls them back to a deficit of only 1 member. As a result, they could capitalize if Get Right can swing behind them. However, it would shut down everything. He's gone the wrong way, though. He's gone to Park. If he'd gone direct toward the front of the bathrooms, he had the best chance. Still finds the kill as Shox is lingering and loitering still outside. As Apex realizes he's lost his teammate and the bomb, he'll go aggressive to try and catch off the inners of the site. It's Draken that waits. AWP from that range was never going to catch him off, especially when he didn't know he was that close. It gives a chance to Exist to find a better angle, and he does exactly that. G2 stay on 12, and NiP find 8.
Well, there we go. NiP looking very good here. 5-0, and here comes the pause map. I did say it'd be coming in. You're forced by a few. Things get a bit desperate. You can't really find yourself back into the game. You take a pause. Then what do? Money's still broken. You get maximum loss money, sure, but no bombs going down, so you're only getting $2,400 per player. This is something that G2 have struggled with. All this French collective, in terms of force buying, they love it. They really can't get enough of it. And sometimes it looks amazing, and sometimes it works out for them tremendously. But other times it can feel like they do it when they don't have to. When you have that sort of lead right in the first half, and you go to the second, you don't have to force buy. Just play the odds, win the gun rounds. That's the most satisfying way to win CS. Like winning it and cheating rounds with the pistols, I feel like it's a lot more for me as an in-game leader as well. I was like, well, sure, we want a deagle round, but I'd rather be winning with our strategies and our teamwork and developing as a team than running around as CZs. There we go. Is that the smoke we were looking for? There it is.
That's much better.
I don't know about that.
No, it's not.
It's useless.
No, that's horrendous.
Let's stop throwing that one now.
That was fast. NiP just obliterated them anyway.
Yeah.
Toward the front of mid is our late observing by Rushley, which failed to show us. Thanks, Rushley. Appreciate it. Shout out. Love, respect. All yours.
Yeah. I
The
agree.
old chest bump. No one can see that, but it's fine.
He is in the room with us.
Not really.
In spirit.
In spirit, I'll give you that one.
Is he going to do the smoking? And he's not. We just have to check. Get right towards the connector right now. 12-9. That lead was 12-3, man. Just to know. Slipping away now. AWP on either side. Money's starting to get sort of stable. Not quite there yet. Kenny has no nades whatsoever. No head armor as well. And Draken, ever since he got that AWP, we were calling out at the start. There's a reason why NiP couldn't find opening frags. He didn't have it until about the 12th round. As soon as he picked it up, finds 2 quick kills. Opens things for that B-bomb site. He's continued that good form ever since. This time he finds Shoxy. Game leader on the side. 5-on-4 once again. Looking at double digits. NiP.
Try and find it. Bondi's going to look through Monster to do it. He's quite the ugly monster when you really look at him, isn't he? Look at him. He's disgusting.
Big old mouth.
It's almost like Pudge. I wonder if that's like Valve's homage. Like, we love Dota, let's put him in CS as well.
We love Dota so much. We're going to force him in your game as well.
Yeah, just force that one down their throat. Spoon feed it. Not a bad idea if you're Valve. Forrest flashes through. Well read, or excuse me, flashes through on a Forrest, but very well read as he turns around. Better lineup for Exist. Swings out. Draken actually gets it out from the barrel of his gun. But NiP find round 10. We are definitely looking at a comeback.
Yeah, for sure. And still maximum loss minutes. They can buy one more, but now it's looking a little bit desperate. I'm sure the boys on the analyst desk are wondering why G2 do this themselves every single time. It's looking desperate now. A little bit out of their depth as they had the huge lead. 12-3 as it starts to slip away. Well then. They can buy into this. KNS won't be able to buy the AWP, but they can get 4 AKs out. And these are the kind of decisions you don't really want to be making. I would say maybe the partial buy is an option here. Oh, they're going all in. I can see KNS is for the Deagle armor and a bit of utility as well. Maybe a set piece is required. Let's just go towards B maybe. Let's just drop everything we've got. All the smokes, the Molotovs, shocks he can throw. That tremendous smoke he's got. If it lands this time, maybe we're onto something. We tried it twice, 2 fails. But I think it's set piece right now. The defaults just aren't working out. They're getting blown out of the water. Drakens is picking them off one by one. Get right hits his 20th frag, and G2 struggling here in the second half. Picked up a single round yet after 7. This could be the full reverse sweep.
It could. It absolutely could. But as soon as you say it, it always changes and gets jinxed, so I'm going to say it's not. You know how that works.
Yeah, exactly.
You love to see it, Hank. You love to.
No double orb set up here for NiP. It used to be Forrest who was the main orb, if you remember. It was a strange time for NiP.
Yeah, that was very strange. I'm not going to lie to you.
Wasn't their best look. But still, he did a decent job. I won't hold it against him.
I'm glad you won't, because I will. No, it was actually, yeah. I mean, we're best of a bad situation, I guess is a way to put it.
It's out of necessity, really. Oh, Draken. I'm liking this. He's getting his confidence up, isn't he?
It certainly is. He's gone aggressive. Smoke down well deep. Was there a smoke? No, it wasn't. Okay, so I don't know what I was seeing in the graphics. I thought I saw one that was bloomed outside of the short fight, but there we go. I'm clearly daft, but nonetheless, the shot misses. It's gone a raft. It's not really working.
Sounded like if you just played that
I
out,
know,
I
right?
would have been convinced.
Right? I'm pretty sure that's what like most rappers do. They just make up words these days. Shock's getting aggressive. 2 players in front of him to find if Rez sneaks over. They're almost lining up. He could have been found, but it is a bit of a mess. You're right.
Where's the strategy here? What are they doing? They're like, everyone's segregated with smokes and Molotovs, and everyone's getting flashed, and it's nice shots from NiP, but G2, like, where is the form? Like, it seems like they've called something on the fly here. There's like a 5-man group up towards middle, and let's see if we can pick them off one by one, but it's really hasn't really worked out for them whatsoever. As you can see, on a single frag there, it's Rez picks them off, and it looks a little bit too easy for NiP right now. Where are G2 right now? You can see it's an absolute bloodbath towards middle. It's very chaotic, and now that maximum loss spread is not looking so tantalizing. Looking to tie things up. The Eagles, not really an investment here. They're going to have some head armor and NBK and Apex for no nades. Don't see much coming out of this one, but we'll find out.
We shall find out indeed. Stay tuned. Live on Pro League. As it's pistols again for G2. They look for the headshot. I like this crosshair. I think I would play better with it. That's just my theory. Don't actually think that's true, but maybe. Forrest backs behind the pillar, its body. Already at the sandbags for G2. He's waiting for a chance perhaps to be sneaky and get inside. I'd say be flashed in. It would be a perfect position to do so, but as you can see on the right side of your screen, brought to you by Valve's Overlay, there is no flashes.
There's nothing exists. He's hitting something though. Same with Forrest as well. It's going to be a couple of frags there for the NiP boys, and they will indeed find the 12th round. This is horrific. 12-3, we did say it's the scary scoreline map. And to be fair, I'm not even putting this down to the force buys anymore. This is G2 that's looking really uninspired and flat on Overpass. They haven't really got the basics down right now of just basic defaults and execution and taking the map. Like, they seem to be making mistakes every single time and looking a little bit off. No one really fragging at all. I can't really remember any significant frags or clutches in this second half. 12-3 in the first, and that's feels like such a long time ago.
I like how we called it again, though, that this is the Pro League score. This is
It happens
exactly
every
what
time.
happens. I'm going to get another pause, and rightfully so.
Well, tactical time on G2. So for online, we go, oh, okay, so we do have 4. Like usually on online play, we just like, okay, you have like 5 minutes total for technical.
Yeah, because it used to be abused based on people taking technicals that couldn't be proved because there's no admin to see it.
Yeah, right. And then it like got to the point where we were waiting. I remember like a PGL season, we were waiting like 10 minutes for technical timeouts, and I was like, well, like at this point they can just catch up with the stream and just like do whatever they want. And I was like, well, this kind of has to stop at this point. And then we kind of fixed that issue. Don't have those anymore.
It's true. Yeah, there was they put the timer. They also we came up with a solution of covering the
GUI, yeah.
the HUD exactly, so that you couldn't spot what the other team was using or wielding. will. Get back underway. Fast timeout, as indicated by the rules. Get right, already getting close with Draken of clearing the underpass. In fact, they're going to boost the op up. Has to be a little higher, I think.
Probably not worth it at this point. Like, they're doing very well so far. Let's not give it up to a bit of a crazy boost at this point. Can find kills, but that should have been one for Draken. Yeah, absolutely everything so far. Misses a couple now, and he will be taken down. Finally, an opening frag for G2. Won't last for long, though. Get right there to punish them, and 3 frags for NiP. 3 on 2, but low HP for Rez. Very chaotic round once again, and G2 just don't have the chance to show us what they can do on this map. It's just exchanges all over the place. Kenny S now in the 2 versus 1. Nice shot there. Got the bomb on his back as well. Has time to work with. 53 seconds. Very quick rounds here. Couple of flashbangs to work with. CTs are going to be very tentative. They know what he's capable of. 2 frags into this round. Will plant safely behind the sandbags. Not going to fake it out. Forrest getting closer, and he will find the kill as well. Wasn't as exciting as I was hoping there. I thought Kenny S would pull off a no-scope or get something going there, but gets the bomb down with the maximum loss bonus. That's enough. It means he can buy into the next round, and so can his team. But they've lost the lead map. 12-3.
Yeah, they have. This is shocking.
This is all falling apart, isn't it? They're just getting wrecked at the very start. They can't handle any sort of aggression. That's just 2 players in towards Connect, and it all falls apart. They're not deploying the Molotovs or flashing key areas. It seems like it's just straight up duels right now. Every single round, and NiP is coming out on top with his superior aim at this point.
Well, Molotov to go from body down to the site. Sandbags to be exact, so that they can't push or get aggressive. Just wanted to. He'll wait for the flames to extinguish and then head the direction that he intended to begin with. In the meantime, Apex covers up the stairwell and goes back to the bathrooms. Watch out toward Long Draken. Meanwhile, front side of the bathroom position, close angle will take down Apex. And yeah, exactly. They walk in blind, and Rez hasn't even been considered. He could strike and take down 2. And, ooh, I was about to say will do it. MK just gets in the nick of time in position to take him back. Instead, Draken is in a bit of a problem in the no man's land, as we would refer to that, because there's no way back to the site without an exchange, and an AWP at that range not really effective.
Here we go then. Something positive. That's much better from G2. Wasn't a fan of that connector blind face. I'm not a fan of that either, but Get Right does manage to level the playing field. 3 on 3. An open B bomb side, though. G2 make their way in. The smoke's going to be deployed, but Exist somehow makes that happen. Where was that from? I have no idea. Must have been towards the heaven position as he rotates. The smoke was down, though. He must have lined that up. I have no idea how he managed to pull that one off, but he does it. Kenny S from the connector does take down Forrest at the same time. Another 2-on-2 situation. You have lots of clutches in this game. Round number 11. Get Right and Exist to try and win yet another round for NiP. Been such a significant CTR for them.
Body holding the angle, as to is Kenny on the opposite side, so they have to go by one and the other, and the crossfire works perfectly as they walk out. It's Body and Kenny, each with a kill. Finally, they get a round, and it might be like last game where we thought about the reverse sweep, and then they get one late to deny it. But we've got a long way to go yet. Reset potential has been committed. There will be guns brought out by G2, but so too with NiP. They've got 2 rounds, in fact, to work with before they're broken. Are you a broken man?
Not so much anymore. All right. Used to be.
That's good.
Yeah, right?
I'm impressed. Welcome to being saved.
Here we go again. It's Apex to throw this time. Oh, come on.
Better. Come on. I believe in you.
This has been a key storyline in this game, this smoke. I'm really invested in this.
That makes one of
They're
us.
pushing off towards shore as well. This is more interesting. Follow the smoke. It's missed again. I can't believe it.
That's shocking.
It's gone.
Review this demo, please. Someone tweet them and tell them that the smoke is missing, and they need to work on that so that they identify the problem. We'll identify many problems in our lives, each to our own, Henry. But in the meantime, Get Right holds from water. They'll boost up on the CT side to try and spot toward Toxic. As the T's head in, it's Draken that's ready for it, well positioned. And they know that they have to retake B before the bomb becomes a factor, because it's a 5 versus 2, and Kenny is still alive. He can easily hold them off if he's fast. We know he is. We know he's capable. His teammate gets fast out to position. Kenny swings to the right after Apex gets one, but Draken swarms, and they'll get a defuse. We get a 14th round for NiP and a reset against G2.
This looks a little bit amateur, doesn't it, from G2 right now? This is one of the world's best teams. Won big tournaments this year, and they're putting out rounds like that. Like, I know I'm having fun with that smoke, but that kind of stuff, like, that's losing
sad.
the rounds, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're going, when you have set smokes and executions like that, you have those smokes to eradicate risk and areas you don't have to look at. If you run into the bomb site and see that smoke's been missed, all of a sudden the chaos and the communication is all going to fall apart and everyone's panicking and trying to work out, do I need to resmoke that? Should I do something about this? It's really important. Your smokes are on point. It's a really basic part of the game.
They talked about that too, for getting execution.
Yeah, right? Like, it's like, it's obviously Shoxy's missing that, so I know Apex had to go, but let's get into this round. We'll get back to that. I'm sure the analysts can break that down even further. It will be 14-13. This was a reset round, but still a bit of money left over. Body with the AWP now after Kenny S drops, but Body's on very low HP in Apex. He does manage to find Get Right. That was a questionable push through the smoke, trying to make a play, if you will. Gives up his frag. 4-on-3. It's going to be a very close game indeed. We should go the full distance here. It's going to be G2 with the lead for now.
Rez drops in toward the pit. Apex will sit. Guard the wall. Chance to tie it back up without much weapons to work with. Draken, EWP. For an angle that's favorable, and he's waiting for it to walk to him, and Shock certainly does. Body goes back for more behind Toxic. He's got the right aim, but the barrels absorb the bullet, and he goes, oh, to a deagle Body. Well played, but Draken has had enough of that, and the bomb will not be planted. You're right, round over. Rez doesn't need to peek, and he'll get an NiP map point.
Oh, goodness gracious. That was quite exciting there with Body with the one deke, but time ticking away. G2 just can't find any luck here. The bomb will not be planted. They save the AWP so they can buy up around that, but here's the shot. Oh, God, it's crispy, but Draken's there to deny it. Once again, there's no smokes or flashbangs to really stop that being a possibility. They got one round so far in the second half. 12-1. After a 12-3 first half, it looked like it was done. The game was over. And here we are. Map point, G2 looking for overtime. CZ and Draken, he's been lights out this game. Misses the key shot there towards middle. NiP, after winning Nuke, could get the 2-0 here. And I don't think they were expecting this. 12-3 and managing to completely break G2. All came off the back of that initial exchange with the Force Buys. Did call it the start, and this could be it, map. A couple of kills coming in, make it 3, not quite. MBK does recover the situation somewhat.
Does recover the situation somewhat. Shock's inside of the site, however. He's going to try to pull and sneakily get in behind Draken, pull it back, but he gets found by Exist, or does he? He does get right in the end, but I'm afraid 12 HP for him, 1 HP for MBK.
Draken? Oh, God, what are you doing?
What?
He had 1 HP. And
I was going to say is enough. This is 13 HP for 2 players. The M4 just needs to hit them with 1 bullet. This nade could do it. This nade, oh, it's too far. It's in between them.
Oh, okay, Exist should save the situation. I thought, not like this, NiP, not again. Not what he did on Nuke.
My heart can't handle it.
Like Draken missed like 4 AWP shots. Still could fall apart here. MBK with his second AWP frag. What's the time remaining? 30 seconds. No bomb. As if, yeah, that's miles away. He has to go for the kill here. He doesn't have time to pick up the bomb and plant map.
No chance at all.
So he has to find him. He has to start running, my friend.
He's got 1 HP and an AWP, and Forrest is on the other side of the map. We could time out the final round. Although Forrest has no idea where NBK is. If he gets to the window before Forrest makes it to the sandbags, he actually could be caught. No, this is going to be timed out. We're going to have a time-certain finish for the last round.
Good
so
game.
NiP goes 16-13. G2 will fall. Not the most, I guess, anticlimactic finish. Not the most exciting finish, but an interesting way to end it.
What a game. What a series. Game. That's why it's the whole match of the week. NiP versus G2. NiP take both maps, comebacks on both of them as well. And G2, they've got to be kicking themselves there. 12-3, and this, the blunder. I could just see it all building up. It's such a classic G2 move. Lose the pistol, just keep force buying until you get yourself in a rut, then start crumbling, and then I'm sure we can break it down further on the analyst test. Boys, over to you to close it out.
It would be our pleasure, Hank. Thank you so much. Yes, an exciting series with a slightly deflating end. We do see time being the enemy of G2 here on Overpass, at least for that final round, as we return to talk through this one. NiP, a 2-0 victory versus G2. It wasn't necessarily what we had on paper. Felt like our analysts here joining us, Yanko and Chad, kind of had a bit more of an edge favouring those from G2. A success in Sweden kind of convinced us. Now let's kind of understand as to where that Overpass victory came from. Maybe not all smokes landing, but NiP, they navigate to a victory.
I think not all smokes landing is a key point.
Yeah.
They looked really sloppy on their T side, right? There was time and time again that they just couldn't get. They're not basic smokes, the ones that they were trying to throw. They're like very difficult smokes, so just maybe don't throw them unless you're like amazing at that kind of stuff. You can do it multiple different ways. It looks like maybe they were trying to be a little bit too tricky for their own good. G2's a team that doesn't need to be tricky, it's just trade. And Henry made a really good point during the cast that they were very disjointed. The smokes and molotovs, the boost that NiP were throwing out there, the different ways they'd approach with Draken with the AWP, he was all over the shop. And that makes it so difficult to read. And if you're not feeling confident and you're not finding that space that I spoke about that Apex likes to take on that T side, you're going to have a hard time. There's just some really good reads by NiP, some good moving around on that seat. That's a massive comeback. That's huge.
It's a comeback that you wouldn't expect, especially, Yanko. We talk about, G2 have had problems on CT side, and they have a good CT half, and then struggle to play the T side now, as if things couldn't make any less sense.
Yeah, exactly. And also NiP as a team is known to be struggling on the CT side more so than the T side. So a lot of weird things happening here. But as Chad pointed out, it was mostly just good play on the CT side, right? That's the thing with Overpass. With your CT side aggression, you always have to kind of take gambles. You're either going to be aggressive towards long or towards toilets or towards connector, maybe towards water, but you can't be aggressive everywhere at the same time. And NiP was just getting good reads in that second half, just finding the weak spot for G2 time and time again, pretty much.
I think something to point out as well is G2 obviously had a good CT side themselves.
Absolutely.
But it was more decisive on the NiP side. It felt more like clinical in their approach. It looked like they had like a good plan. Whereas G2, they had some more scrappy rounds. There were things which actually came down to retake scenarios. It wasn't as much the case for NiP. Obviously, close rounds here, there, towards the end for sure. But it just looked like theirs was a bit more dominant. So a really good performance from NiP. Obviously, they're not going to be too happy with their T side. 3 rounds is a bit of a
I mean, that was 9 rounds in a row in the second half for NiP before G2 even managed to plant the bomb. So I would like to point out Gatright, had another good game here, and he's someone who's been getting a lot of criticism. Maybe not recently, but towards the beginning of this year, end of last year, his performance was really lower than I think we've ever seen from Gatright in CS:GO. So it's good to see him back on track and contributing towards the team.
This is what I think, having a new player or having like a fresh roster does, especially for the veterans in the team. It just is a mental reset. Like we said that Forrest, he's always been the more consistent one, but he did drop off a little bit. Like he wasn't the same form. We're seeing better stuff out of him now. Gatright coming back to old form. Exist seems to be more freed up now. They have Threat full time. So this is really good for NiP going forward. And with these 2 new young players, are very exciting. I think there's a good future for them.
Yeah, I think in general, as always, it seems to be happening as of late that the roster shuffles are helping everyone. Fnatic are looking good. NiP are looking good.
Maybe not Na'Vi.
We'll talk about more of them. We said time was the Na'Vi crux. We're going to be giving them more time before we start judging the boys in black and yellow. Still, Wiz Khalifa aside, these are the scores on the doors. You can have a little look on how we did get through today. We talk about Na'Vi, and they did pick up a convincing win, albeit on train, not so on Cobble. And on this primary stream, if you did just miss it, you missed quite the affair. Almost all 60 rounds of this best of 2 between the one we called it the Samurai and the Ninjas. It was a hot match, and indeed the rounds do indicate thus. On the other side of things, it looks like the secondary stream was a little bit briefer. You can see a 16-1 smashing. I know you had your eye on it, Chad.
Yeah, Flusher had a beast of a game. He got off to a flyer on that map. Saw some vintage Flusher there. And moving on to the second game, Fnatic, not historically a nuke team, Golden's doing work with the boys. They're obviously putting a lot of prep here to take down Mouse Sports. Very disappointing season for them so far. I wonder if they can turn it around.
Well, we'll find out if they can, of course. Many more games to come for them. You can see where they're placed currently on those standings. Fnatic, just 1 loss. They are just running away with it currently. But I do have to remind everyone, we haven't seen much from FaZe Clan. Just 6 for 2 for them for now. We haven't seen any of them since that very first week, but we will be seeing some of them next week, in fact. Actually, no, tomorrow.
I think
tomorrow we get a
they're
FaZe
playing.
game, I'm almost certain. If you wanted to find out how those games went for FaZe, you wanted to check out exactly how some of those games went down. If you want to see Flusher doing Flusher things, you can all find it on ESL's YouTube. So a reminder where to find that. It is probably where you're watching it right now, but youtube.com/ESLCS. Very easy to find, and it'll help you with all the VODs and, of course, the live gameplay when it does go live, reminders, and all of that good stuff. And if you're still craving more Counter-Strike, not only is there the North American Pro League that is coming up next, we can show you some of the games that are going to be going on there. That's a little later on tonight. There is, of course, also the Mountain Dew League as well. You'll see that sponsor pop up if you're unfamiliar. Just beneath Pro League, that's where it does lie. The Premier Division, where indeed the top team does find a spot in that Pro League. So that's all the good stuff coming up. I do want to quickly show you those North American matches that are going to be coming up, as well as, of course, the European ones that are coming up tomorrow as well. So much to look forward to, but these are your Americas. Anything leaping off the page? Ooh, hang on a second. That's an Immortals logo.
Emergency transfer situation over here.
Yeah, did you read who it is? What's the score?
SHZ and Destiny.
SHZ and Destiny.
And I think Zach will be standing in until Horvey, which is the 6th that they signed when a lot of this drama was happening, or at least beginning. His visa isn't quite ready yet, so he'll be there eventually.
So from grand finalists at the major to losing 3 players and having a coach stand in.
And the major spot.
Major spot. Yeah, lots to be talked about for those guys in North America. We'll leave that to them.
There's FaZe
later on. And there is FaZe. I promised you we'd be getting to see some more of the FaZe clan as they look to get their 9th and 10th.
Chad, what's going on the B stream? Where are the games?
I'm not sure.
Server issues?
I got to make a phone call. I'll make a phone call.
Come on,
I'll
Chad.
work it out. I'm not quite sure what's going on
What are
there,
you going to do
Yanko.
tomorrow about the B stream updates?
Yeah, look, I'm going to have to... Look, I'm telling you, I'll get on the phone after this.
Okay, I've actually just been on the phone. I'm very quick making phone calls, and apparently they've been rescheduled.
Must be nice.
Yeah. So they're going to have a chill start to their day on the secondary stream.
Oh, that's why we have Godsend on the primary stream.
Wow, not a fan of Godsend. I like their logo. I've always been a fan of their logo.
I'm not a fan.
Not a fan?
Nah.
Oh, Alex, member of the Illuminati.
Illuminati confirmed. Apparently, like, Katy Perry's a member of the Illuminati as well. And on that incredible knowledge bomb, I'll let you think about that one. We're going to go ahead and disappear. When we do come back tomorrow, same time, in fact, actually, maybe even just a little bit earlier, you'll have to find out as we're going to go ahead and disappear. When we come back, though, ESL Pro League continues with much more of your favorite Counter-Strike and maybe even a little bit something special.